So menus are how non-repository Drupal content is organized and presented to end users on the website. There is that one primary menu in your standard Arca deployment, which is called DGI header menu. Thank you, Discovery Garden, for naming things after yourselves, which appears in the header at the top of every page. So as you saw when we created that basic page, the easiest way to add a link to this menu is from the configuration screen when you're creating the node. That is, you edit the node, go to the menu settings, provide a menu link that way. The benefit of doing it this way is that the menu is updated automatically if the node you're linking to changes. So for example, if you change the title and you change the URL alias, or if you delete the node entirely, the menu will update itself automatically to make sure that you don't have a broken link. You can also modify menus directly from the structure administration page. So I told you not to go to structure because it's about the architecture of your site. Menus are an exception in controlled situations. So if you go to structure, menus, and the DGI header menu is the one we're working with, you'll see a lot of other menus there that are not, a lot of them aren't in use, some of them are functional. So here you get an overview of the existing links in that menu. You can see that there's a disabled about page as well. So if it's checked, it's enabled. If it's not checked, it's disabled. You can edit these links to go to other places. You can rearrange them. Let's say I want feedback at the top for some reason. But you can also add new links to the menu this way. But I recommend that you only do that for external links. That is pages outside of your repository. Any internal links should be created by the page that you want to link to for the reasons I already explained. It'll keep the links live and all that. So in the sandbox, let's try adding a link. So if you go to menu, structure, menu, DGI header menu, and click that add link button, perhaps I want to provide a link to the Arca aggregator site or the parent site or whatever you want to call it from this menu. So in that case, I'm going to add a link. I'm going to give it a title. I'll call it the Arca Collaborative Repository. And I will link out to https arcabc.ca. Remember, we're only doing this for external sites. Internal pages should be done through the page itself. Under display settings, you can set the weight, again, how far down in the menu you want it to appear. If you want it to be first, give it a low number or even a negative number. If you want it to be last, make it heavy. You can also just leave it as is and drag the items around afterward in the menu configuration. Under description, that is the mouse over text. So the Arca website, yeah. And then we'll save. So that menu link has been saved. If we go back here, you can see it. There's the Arca Collaborative Repository. And you can see my little mouse over text there. Under feedback, there's my mouse over text, etc. Now, in addition to editing existing menus, adding items, you can also create your own menu and make them show up in the places that you want to see them. For example, perhaps you want to provide access to a group of pages when a visitor uses visits the About menu. A page about your repository, a page about Arca itself, a page on how to use your site, a page showing off your statistics, all of that stuff. If we go to the About page now, of course, the About page is just at the top, but we're going to create a menu for it. So to create a new menu, go back to the structure. Oops. There we go. Yeah. Back to structure. Go to menus. Again, you'll see this long list of menus here. Some of them are important, some of them are not. But we're going to create a new menu. I'm going to give it the title, About. Administrative summary is for your eyes only. It's an explanation of what this menu is for. So I'm going to say links to pages about this repository. And save. There we go. My menu has been added. So we'll go to my About menu. Next, you want to make this menu available to the basic page content type. So once again, we're going to make a change to the structure. There's a rare thing that you're going to do. So we'll go to the structure, content types, basic page. Be careful when doing this stuff. You'll see in the settings for the content type, there's an option for menu settings. These are the menus that are available for basic page items to go into. We're just going to check off About so that we can also put basic pages in the About menu, and we'll save. Now, we're going to add some content so that we have something to show on that menu. So I'll add content to basic page, and I'll create something new, like how to use this website. If you're interested in our content, use the Explorer page to browse our collections. If you want to find something specific, use the search bar, etc. To select the menu, go to the menu settings, provide a menu link. Now we're just going to change, we're not going to use the DGI header menu. The About menu is available to us. So I'll select that. And I will save. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to edit this page once more. It is also useful to categorize your pages using the URL alias. So rather than just have it default to node/71 or the title of the thing, like I had done before, if you want to group your pages together, you might give them a section of URL. So like add about/how-to or something like that. This is also useful for when you're configuring the menu to show in certain places. I'm going to save. You'll notice, though, that this menu is not actually showing yet. This will lead us into the next section, which is about blocks. So blocks in Drupal are discrete chunks of information provided by various tools, whether that's a menu, a view, just some static HTML that you've written, which you placed in some region of the site and configured to show up in certain contexts. There are tons and tons of blocks all over your site. For example, if we go back to Sasha's cats, where's the cats? Lemon and Lime are cats. All of these things are blocks. The header here is a block. This menu is a block. The metadata information here is a block. The download links here are all blocks. The citation thing is a block. So all these different chunks of information are blocks, and they are managed in the block layout menu here. So blocks are organized into different regions. So there's the navigation region where the header block is, the breadcrumbs are, all that stuff. There's this section called SIDR where a lot of things are. That's a custom thing for our theme. There's the content region, which is where things like your content viewers are going to be. There are all kinds of different regions, and you can play around with them in the sandbox as well. But we are going to place our new About menu as a block so that we can use it. So first, We're going to find the region that you want to put it in. I'd like mine to be in the right sidebar. Let's see. So I'm going to put it here in the split sidebar group. Actually, no, so that's on object pages. We don't want it on object pages. So I think there's a secondary menu. Yes. So I'm going to place it here in the secondary section. You're going to have to play around with regions when you're placing blocks to figure out where each one is. I think at some point we're going to have to create a sort of a page map outlining the different regions for your reference. And I will place the block. Come on. Why isn't it working? All right, we're having some trouble. Let's try loading the page again. Sometimes pages just don't like to load. There we go. No, I don't think... Yes, there it is. So basically, there are a lot of blocks that exist in the repository. They're not all placed yet, so you have to find them. I created my About menu block, found it by typing About. Oops. I'm going to place the block there in that secondary region. I can give it a title and display it or not. I'm going to turn off the display of the title. And I can set it up so that it only appears in certain places. That is under the visibility section here. You have a ton of options that can get pretty complex if you want them to. So for simplicity, we're going to make this page visible based on the pages. That is, if you're on a page with a given URL or a pattern, you'll see the menu. So I'm going to find the pages. There it is. You see the option is show for the listed pages or hide for the listed pages. If you choose show for the listed pages, it'll only show the item or the block on those pages or pages matching this criteria. If you choose hide for the listed pages, it will show the block everywhere except the ones you list. I want this menu to show up on all pages with about in the path. So I'm going to go with /about star. The star indicates that we're going to accept any characters after the preceding text. So it'll show up at about/usage, about/how-to, etc. Save. All right, and then finally, we'll go back to that new page I just created, how to use this website. And there's my menu, how to use this website. I can even edit that menu to add more links to it. So for example, let's say about the repository, and then I'll link it to the local page about, which we won't normally do, but the thing can't live in two places on its own. So here we go. There it is. So at both sites, or both the places, this one doesn't have an alias yet. I'm going to fix the alias so that it works. I put about in the path, and now the menu will appear in there, in this page. So it appears here, and it appears here, but it does not appear anywhere else. So if we go back to that block layout page again, you'll see there are tons of blocks here. Mostly are ones that are provided with your install. Overall, I recommend not messing with them unless you know exactly what you're doing. You can consult with us at the Arca Admin Center or review the documentation when you do want to mess about with certain blocks. Please make good use of the sandbox to play around and figure out what you're doing before you make any changes to your own website. Some of these blocks are provided in place by the theme, particularly all of the ones that show up on the front page. And to make those blocks visible or not, there are toggles within the theme settings, so please don't mess about with them here. A quick note on views, which also provide blocks. It's an extremely powerful module that allows you to do all kinds of things with your content. Essentially, all of that, the views can be found on the views section under structure views. I definitely don't recommend editing any of the existing views. You will be able to make your own, and we'll provide another tutorial on that and post it to the Arca site later on.